Good morning, students. So, how are you guys? Welcome all of you once again uh, to live coaching classes being hosted by Board of Studies ICAI. So, students, we are in midst of chapter 1 of auditing, that is nature, objective and scope of audit. We have already understood meaning of audit, what audit is all about. We have also understood objective of an independent auditor of financial statements, and these objectives we have understood in accordance with standard on auditing 200, essay 200. Remember guys, name of this essay, essay 200. As I had told you that this chapter 1 is largely drawn from contents of essay 200. Okay, and we have also understood regarding reach of audit, like what an audit includes, what it does not include, what is its scope, and we have also understood in fair detail that what are inbuilt limitations of audit, and why these limitations at the first place exist. What is the reason of their existence? So we had learned in greater detail all the reasons which give rise to inherent limitations of audit. We have learned that audit cannot provide absolute assurance. It only provides a reasonable assurance. Okay. So clear to you guys up till now? Yes. Tanishka is saying, asking about one of our doubts. She is saying that probably she is talking about the example. The accountant who has colluded with the persons of good receiving action can be questioned upon why there is outflow of cash without appropriate purchase bills. Yes, he can be questioned, Tanishka. But the point was to explain to you that such things can happen, and these might not come under the test checking performed by the auditor. The auditor may skip because he is not supposed to verify all the transactions. Okay, so he would be only verifying on the basis of samples, and probably it may happen that he may skip those things in the sample, and sample may not reflect those things. So that is why we say that audit cannot provide absolute assurance. Yes, Tanishka, is it clear? Yes, Pasala, you are saying how does fault in internal management become inherent limitation of audit, sir? What you are trying to ask, Pasla? Please clear your question. How does fault in internal management become inherent limitation of audit? Probably you are asking that uh, uh, that when management itself is involved in some type of wrongdoing. Say when management itself is involved in some type of wrongdoing, or when it is itself involved in committing a fraud, then obviously they would take all care to see that same is not detected by the auditor. They would take all steps to mislead the auditor. They would take all the steps to befool the auditor. Is it clear to you? That is why, since they would have planned the things very carefully, and we know that audit is not an investigation, so the auditor may not be able to detect those things. Although auditor performs his audit in accordance with audit procedures, and he takes all the reasonable care which is necessary, but still we are talking about the possibility. It is quite possible that he may be misled. Yes, Pasla, is it clear? Yes, Gunjan, you are saying that you are able to understand all the topics, but you are not able to recall. Yes, Gunjan, this is a common problem with all the students. So students, learn to concentrate. First step is, look, doing well in exams uh, doesn't only mean that your understanding is good. Your understanding is the first step. It is the first baby step. Now, second thing is, you have to learn those things so as to be able to write in exams. So you have to constantly remember in your mind, you have to constantly learn in your mind all those technical terms, all those things, the way you want to write in your exams. Mere understanding of a topic would not help you in writing in your paper. Something more is needed to it. What is needed to it? Understanding is, look, understanding is the basic step. Now what more is needed? It you need to remember it. You need to cement it. Okay, try again and again, and you would see that that after some time you are remembering the things and you are able to recall. Yes, Gunjan. Yes, Rituraj, future events, you have to understand that future events are, auditing is not about future events. So it is quite possible that future events may affect a company, may affect an organization badly, adversely. So since these are future events, nobody knows what is going to happen in the future. Okay. So therefore, this factor gives rise to inherent limitations of audit. This factor imposes a limitation on audit, since nobody can visualize what is going to happen 1 year or 2 years down the line. What would be the economic conditions, or say the business model may change, some new technology might come, some new competitor might come. How can auditor know about all this? He would only see what has happened till now. Okay. Yes, Pooja, auditor findings again. All these things, it would get clear to you as you move. Auditor finding means when auditor performs the procedures and he obtains evidence and he draws some conclusions. What he has found, what wrong he has found. Simple as it is. So, okay, guys. Now, students, when now Now students, what is an engagement? See, by now you have understood that audit, may it be required under law or it may be voluntary. It is done at the request of the company, of the entity. So how does it happen practically? So it so happens that the client requests the auditor to accept the assignment, which we call in the auditing language as engagement. As engagement. Okay. So a client engages an auditor to conduct audit. Understood? A client engages auditor to conduct audit. So this is known as engagement. In auditing, you would hear this term, and this is also a key term. Now, when writing in papers, when writing in your exams, you have to use this word, engagement. Okay? Because audit is an engagement. It is a reasonable assurance engagement which provides reasonable assurance. So remember these kind of words, engagement. So audit is an engagement. When client engages an auditor to conduct audit of his company, to give him auditing services, then he is engaging an auditor. Clear? Yes, Amit, you are on the right track. So whatever way, every student has got his own way. Whichever way you are comfortable, guys, whichever way you can learn the things and you can write those in exams, that is proper. So everybody can have some different methods. So there is no some straight jacket formula. Whichever way you are comfortable, that is okay. But the point is that outcome should be there, that you should be able to remember and write. Yes, Avinash, you are right. So in the context of engagement, there is a term, external audit engagement. So when we talk of audit of financial statements, we are meaning to say that it is an external audit engagement, that the auditor is external to the company, that auditor is external to the organization, that auditor is external to the entity. He is an outside person. He is an independent person who is going to express his opinion, who is going to comment on the financial information of the organization by conducting a proper audit in accordance with professional standards, in accordance with standards on auditing. Yes, Kirtan, engagement is an agreement between auditor and party. Yes, very true and good question. Engagement is an agreement. It is a sort of formal agreement. So rather you would study in the later chapters that a formal engagement letter is issued. So first of all, client will offer the chartered accountant or the auditor to conduct the audit, and thereafter formal engagement letter is issued. It is a to take the formal shape. So definitely it is a formal agreement. Engagement letter itself formalizes all the things. Understand, Kirtan? Engagement letter itself formalizes all the things. That what is the scope, what the auditor is expected to do, what are the what he understands, that what are the management responsibilities. So these all things form content of the engagement letter. Yes, Tamanna, you are asking, can a CA engaged as an employee in our organization and audit the financial statements of the same? No, Tamanna, he can't do. A CA who is working as an employee of a company, as an employee of organization, he cannot express opinion on the financial statements. So he is working there as an employee of the company. He may be rendering some services as employee of the company, like he may be internal auditor, but he would not be in a position to express opinion. Yes, when internal auditor is appointed, Swati, external auditor is definitely appointed to express opinion on the financial statements. Internal audit cannot express opinion on financial statements. That is not his function. He cannot. Yes, contents of engagement letter, Amit Kumar. These you would be reading in later chapters. I have touched upon it. Yes, Anmol. हाँ जी, बिल्कुल ठीक है. Only practicing CA can do audit. जो CA के पास सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ प्रैक्टिस है, वो ही ऑडिट कर सकते हैं, वो ही फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स पे साइन कर सकते हैं. बिल्कुल ठीक बताया आपने, अनमोल. No, Meenakshi, he can't sign on the financial statements as internal auditor. Yes, Rituraj, it would be generally regarded as external audit engagement. Yes, all these things we would be coming right now, students, what you are asking. Yes, Ramachandra has asked a question. Now he is saying if a CA is employee of company X, now let us take Ramachandra's question. If a CA is employee of company X, can he be engaged as auditor of company Y, which he has nothing to do with company X? Now your answer lies within your question, Ramachandra. If somebody is an employee of a company, it means that he doesn't have certificate of practice. He doesn't have full-time certificate of practice. So he has no authority to sign. He has no authority to sign on the financial statements of another company. Okay. Yes, Priyanka, good question. But these things we would be doing later on. These are in your syllabus, and you would be learning about these things. So clear, students? So students, I have also uploaded certain key learning points. When you go in your app or you log in, you can find these. So I have uploaded certain key learning points in chapter 1. So these are some important learning points which you have to definitely do. Okay, because without these, you understanding of chapter 1 would be zero. Okay, so I am showing this to you, so you can go there and have a look, like definition of audit, objectives of auditor, type of activities outside scope of audit, difference between audit and investigation. Okay, so I have uploaded this, so you can have a look, and you can plan your chapter accordingly. Yes. So what is an engagement, guys who are learning? Engagement means an arrangement to do something. Okay. Engagement means an arrangement to do something. So in the context of engagement, it means a formal agreement between auditor and client under which auditor agrees to provide auditing service. It takes the shape of engagement letter. So all these things we have learned right now. Yes, guys, Suraj, all these, when you try to search a little bit, there all these things, or the MCQs which we would be doing, these are all uploaded in PDF form, subject wise, in your in the BOS portal site. Okay. So external audit engagements. So you can search this after watching the lecture. So the purpose of external audit engagement is to enhance the degree of confidence of intended users of financial statements. जो फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स को यूज करने वाले हैं, लाइक जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था, बैंकर्स, क्रेडिटर्स, शेयर होल्डर्स, गवर्नमेंट अथॉरिटीज, ये सब लोग कौन है? दीज आर यूजर्स ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स. ओके, सो द पर्पस ऑफ एक्सटर्नल audit engagement to increase the degree. What is the meaning of enhance? Enhance meaning to increase. Okay, so the purpose of external audit engagement is to increase the degree of confidence of intended users of financial statements. So such engagements are also reasonable assurance engagements. So obviously these are reasonable assurance engagements. So in India, students, you have to remember that in India, in our country, all companies are required to get their accounts audited by external auditor. It is mandated under law. It is necessary under law. And for those organizations which are not constituted as companies, which are not companies, like say sole proprietorship firms, partnership firms, or say NGOs, they may choose to get their accounts audited voluntarily, and or they may be required under different laws to get their accounts audited. Like I give you an example. Like students under say Income Tax Act, you would be reading all persons, whether it is a proprietorship concern, whether it is a partnership firm, okay, or whether it is an association of person, whether it is a society, all the persons whose turnover exceeds a certain limit, a certain threshold limit, they are required to get their accounts audited under income tax law. Okay, so the accounts need to be audited and the auditor gives his report in accordance with the requirements of Income Tax Act. He has to comment on some specific matters relating to income tax. Okay, so these are the different type of situations. Clear, students? As far as companies are concerned, you have to learn that companies in India are required to get their accounts audited. Even if a company has a turnover of say 20 lakhs, it would be required under Companies Act to get its annual accounts audited from an external auditor. Okay. Clear, students? Yes, audit engagement, Harsh and Tejas. Audit engagement again. Engagement means किसी को engage करना. मैंने किसी आदमी से काम करवाना है तो मैं उसको engage करूंगा. I am a client. I would engage somebody. I have to get some work done. I would engage somebody. Since it is a legal work, so it is formalized between both the parties. एक लेटर तैयार होता है and this letter is sent by the auditor to the client. Okay, clear Tejas and Rituraj? Yes, this is what it is called as tax audit. Probably you have heard this is called as tax audit under income tax. So you would be learning it when you would be studying your income tax classes. No, Tushar, we cannot get accounts audited from internal auditor. Internal auditor provides services for the organization, for the housekeeping of the organization. कि उसका जो कंपनी के अंदर का सिस्टम है वो ठीक चल रहा है, कंपनी रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस फॉलो कर रही है, कंपनी के जो अकाउंटिंग सिस्टम है वो ठीक ढंग से चल रहा है, जो मैनेजमेंट ने सिस्टम बनाया हुआ है अकाउंटिंग के लिए वो ठीक ढंग से चल रहा है. these things are looked after by internal auditor. लेकिन जहां तक बैलेंस शीट पे साइन करने की बात आती है, जहां पे फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स पे ओपिनियन एक्सप्रेस करने की बात आती है, इंटरनल ऑडिटर कैन नॉट डू दैट. Yes, Rama Devi, as I have told you, statutory auditor is different from internal auditor. Both the functions are different. Statutory auditor is external to the company. He cannot be employee of the company. He cannot be employee of the organization. Swati, you are asking, is there any turnover limit of the company specified for appointment of audit firm? For company, there is no turnover limit as far as company is concerned. Yes, key learning points are uploaded assignments. Yes, Rahul, you are saying if there are two auditors, what would happen if their opinion differ? There is a separate standard on auditing in regard to this. There is a separate standard on auditing, SA 299, relating to joint audit. Clear? You got the comfort that everything you are asking, there would be an essay on this. Statutory audit. What is statutory audit? When audit is required under law. Statutory means legal, law. So obviously what is required under law is statutory audit. तो थोड़ा सा स्टूडेंट्स आप, मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है, बी ए लिटल एप्लीकेशन ओरिएंटेड. थोड़ा सा खुद दिमाग पे प्रेशर क्रिएट करें, थोड़ा सा दिमाग पे जोर डालें और चीजों को अंडरस्टैंड करने की कोशिश करें. देखिए, जब तक आप खुद अपनी तरफ से चीजों को अंडरस्टैंड करने की कोशिश नहीं करेंगे तो कुछ रिजल्ट्स नहीं आएंगे. आप कहेंगे कि एवरीथिंग जो है हमें प्लेट में परोस के दिया जाए तो आपको नहीं समझ आएगी. थोड़ा सा अपने दिमाग पे जोर डालें और जो कंसेप्ट्स हैं, कंसेप्ट्स को लर्न करके उसकी एप्लीकेशन में कोई दिक्कत है तो आप जरूर पूछें. ओके. यस देवेंद्र, एंगेजमेंट लेटर. What is engagement letter? Engagement, how does an engagement letter look like? This is all dealt in separate chapter in greater detail. तो आप वहां पे इसको अच्छी तरह से पढ़ेंगे. Yes, Vidya, schools. Yes, schools may be required, may choose to get its accounts audited because schools nowadays receive grants from the government, and there may be condition in those grants that this grant is going to be released when your accounts are audited. Yes, Nancy, you are asking, means a shopkeeper also need to audit if there is no turnover limit? आपने फिर गलत समझा नैन्सी. मैंने बोला कि कंपनीज के लिए कोई टर्नओवर लिमिट नहीं है. अगर एक शॉपकीपर इंडिविजुअल कैपेसिटी में अपनी, ही इज रनिंग ए शॉप and if his turnover is below certain limit, you can understand, if it is say below rupees 1 crore in certain circumstances, then he need not get his accounts audited under income tax law. However, if his turnover exceeds that limit, then he would require to get his accounts audited. For companies it is compulsory. Shopkeeper is not a company. He may be constituted as a proprietorship firm or partnership firm. Yes, clear. ममता, यस ममता, अभी तक तो आप ये पूछ रहे हो कि SA 200 क्या है. तो मैं कितनी बार बता चुका हूं, इसका मतलब अभी तक आपको पता ही नहीं चला कि स्टैंडर्ड ऑन ऑडिटिंग क्या है. स्टैंडर्ड ऑन ऑडिटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं जिसमें ऑडिटर की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज बताई गई हैं कि ऑडिट करने के लिए ऑडिटर की क्या क्या रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज हैं. SA 200 उनमें से एक स्टैंडर्ड है, उनमें से पहला स्टैंडर्ड है जिसपे कि आपका ये चैप्टर काफी हद तक बेस्ड है. यस राहुल, अगर if the auditor is holding shares in a company, he cannot audit financial statements of that company. Why? Because number one, you would be learning under Companies Act, it is barred by, it is not allowed by Companies Act. Why it is not allowed by Companies Act? Because it affects the independence of auditor. Say if I am holding certain shares, then it means I am also part owner of that company. Who is shareholder? When a person is shareholder, he becomes owner of the company to the extent of shares held by him. So how an owner can himself conduct audit? How he can be in a position to give an opinion independently? Yes, there are limits, Tushar. There are limits. But these all things you would be learning later on. No, a CA cannot do audit of his own company. It is not allowed. Yes, this paper is theoretical but application oriented. This paper is theoretical but application oriented. आपको चीजों को अंडरस्टैंड करना है, फिर उसको याद करना है, फिर उसको अप्लाई करना है. सिर्फ टोटल थ्योरी नहीं है. आपको सिर्फ आप सोचे कि हम रट्टा मार के काम कर लेंगे, वैसे काम नहीं चलने वाला. इसीलिए सबसे पहले अंडरस्टैंडिंग जरूरी है. जो मैं बोल रहा हूं, अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वो फर्स्ट बेबी स्टेप है आपका. देन कम्स रिमेंबरिंग एंड देन कम्स एप्लीकेशन एंड राइटिंग. तो पेपर में आपको केस स्टडीज भी आएंगी, आपको एमसीक्यूज भी आएंगे, कुछ नंबर आपको एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन भी आएंगे, कुछ डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस भी आएंगे. ओके. Students, if you are able to understand the material provided by you to board of studies, nothing else is required. सारा का सारा आपका पेपर जो है, ये जो आपके मॉड्यूल है, उसी में से ही आता है. कुछ भी उसमें से नॉट इवन 1-2 मार्क्स का भी बाहर से नहीं आएगा. So students, benefits of audit. Now, without referring to what is written in your module, students, just imagine what can be benefits of an independent audit of financial statements. क्या क्या बेनिफिट हो सकते हैं. आप मॉड्यूल में मत देखिए, अपने दिमाग से सोचिए. टेक सम टाइम, आप 2-3 मिनट लीजिए, अपने दिमाग से सोचिए. एक एक पॉइंट कुछ आप लिख सकते हैं अपनी समझ से कि इंडिपेंडेंट ऑडिट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स के क्या एडवांटेज हो सकते हैं. व्हाट कुड बी पॉसिबल एडवांटेजेस. फिर मैं स्टूडेंट्स कह रहा हूं, आप मॉड्यूल में से मत देखें, आप अपनी समझ से लिखें. कोई बात नहीं, ठीक नहीं होगा तो कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन उससे एक प्रोसेस स्टार्ट होगा that you would be able to think. Okay. Yes, देवेंद्र, what is your question? आपने एंगेजमेंट लेटर के बारे में पूछा है. एंगेजमेंट लेटर जैसे मैंने बताया, उसके कंटेंट्स. एंगेजमेंट लेटर में क्या होता है, ऑडिटर क्लाइंट को इश्यू करता है, उसमें मैनेजमेंट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज डिस्क्राइब होती हैं, उसमें ऑडिटर की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज डिस्क्राइब होती हैं, एक्सपेक्टेड स्कोप ऑफ एंगेजमेंट होता है. ये सब चीजें आप पढ़ेंगे किसी दूसरे चैप्टर में. Yes. Yes, Swati, we are able to analyze performance of company. Okay. Niharika, to gain trust of users. Yes, accounts are filed correctly under law. Good. No, Wadal Mani, no, he can't do audit. Yes, Rohit assures authenticity of financial statements. सबके आपके your line of thinking is right. Yes, your line of thinking is right, students. Your line of thinking is right. Yes, Devender, your question was CA's wife is shareholder. Yes, there are separate provisions under Companies Act in this respect. If the relative of the shareholder, if the relative is shareholder in a company, then he or she can hold shares up to a certain extent. Okay. And you would be reading about these provisions under Companies Act. Now, Rakshita, how much an auditor charge for auditing a financial statements? Now, remuneration of auditor is also a matter between the auditor and client. It is also a matter between auditor and client. It is to be agreed upon between the auditor and client. Okay. So स्टूडेंट्स देखिए, आप सब लोगों ने अपने माइंड से बेनिफिट्स ऑफ ऑडिट लिखे हैं, ठीक है, बहुत आपने कुछ सोच के लिखा है और आपकी लाइन ऑफ थिंकिंग ठीक है, ठीक है। अब हम इसको देखते हैं कि हाउ व्हाट डज योर मॉड्यूल से अबाउट इट, कि आपका मॉड्यूल इस बारे में क्या कहता है। लेट अस सी। ऑडिटेड अकाउंट्स प्रोवाइड हाई क्वालिटी इंफॉर्मेशन। कैसी प्रोवाइड करते हैं? हाई क्वालिटी फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड करते हैं। इट गिव्स कॉन्फिडेंस टू यूजर्स दैट इंफॉर्मेशन ऑन विच दे आर रिलाइंग इज क्वालिटेटिव। The users of financial statements, they get a comfort that the information which they are relying upon is credible information, that they are relying on information which is audited by professionals and in accordance with standards which is recognized all over the world, which is recognized globally. तो एक तो ये बेनिफिट हो गया, या जिसको आप एडवांटेज कह लें। ओके। और दूसरी बात, आप स्टूडेंट्स आप मेरे को बताएं, आपको यू नो अबाउट कंपनीज, सो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन से डायरेक्टर्स ऑफ द कंपनी एंड शेयर होल्डर्स ऑफ द कंपनी? क्या डिस्टिंक्शन है इसकी? डायरेक्टर्स कंपनी में किस कैपेसिटी में काम करते हैं और शेयर होल्डर्स कौन है? बेसिक पॉइंट। सो स्टूडेंट्स शेयर होल्डर्स जो हैं वो ऑनर्स हैं, से जो बहुत बड़ी कंपनीज हैं, लिस्टेड कंपनीज हैं, उसमें पब्लिक भी शेयर होल्डर है। ओके। सो दे आर ऑल्सो ऑनिंग द शेयर टू द एक्सटेंट of their shareholding. So, but they are not involved in daily affairs of the company. How the company is run, how the operations are being carried out, how the sales are being affected, how the capital assets are being acquired, what are the company's expansion plans. ये सब चीजें शेयर होल्डर्स को मालूम नहीं है. उन्होंने तो कुछ सोच के दे हैव इन्वेस्टेड इन द देयर मनी इन द कंपनी. उनको कंपनी के बारे में नॉलेज है, लेकिन वो कंपनी के डेली अफेयर्स में इन्वॉल्व नहीं है, उसकी डेली वर्किंग में इन्वॉल्व नहीं है. तो डेली वर्किंग किसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है? बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स की, विच कंसिस्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स. ओके, सो देयरफॉर शेयर होल्डर्स need some system by which they come to know that whatever their company has done during the year, whatever the board of directors has executed plans for the company during the year, they need to have some system for independent verification of all these things. So in this way, the interest of shareholders is safeguarded. Okay, so in this way, interest of shareholders is safeguarded. So audit का एक benefit ये भी है कि shareholders का interest in the context of companies is safeguarded. Okay. ठीक है स्टूडेंट्स, ये पॉइंट क्लियर है आपको. एंड नेक्स्ट, एन ऑडिट एक्ट्स एज मोरल चेक ऑन एम्प्लॉइज फ्रॉम कमिटिंग फ्रॉड्स और फॉर द फियर ऑफ बीइंग डिस्कवर्ड बाय ऑडिट. तो इसका क्या मतलब है स्टूडेंट्स? एन ऑडिट एक्ट्स एज मोरल चेक ऑन एम्प्लॉइज. what do you mean by this? It means that employees of the company know in advance that every year audit would be conducted. So it acts as a check, it acts as a pressure upon them to avoid wrongdoing, because they know somehow, they were feeling that they may be caught. Although some employees may be very smart and they may mislead the auditor, as I have been telling you, but somewhere, if say there are 1,000 employees in the company, so at least 990 would be such, they would be having an impression in their minds and in the back of their minds that ultimately every year audit is going to be conducted, and if they commit some wrongdoing, they may be caught. So this is also one of the benefits of audit. Okay. Clear students? Audited financial statements are helpful to government authorities for determining tax liabilities. This you all know. Yes, Devender, why are you thinking that your questions are useless? No, it is not so. Questions of every student are useful. So it is only because it is not possible for us to see every question. So we are answering as this come in the mail. So do not get worried. Yes. You are saying that directors are operators and shareholders are owners. Yes, it is your statement. Directors are, you can't use the word operator. From understanding point of view, it is okay. But for writing point of view in the exams, it is not okay. For your understanding, it is okay कि जो companies का function करता है, for understanding point of view, but for not writing point of view. For writing point of view, you have to write that directors are officers and employees of the company. Okay. Clear, students? So audited financial statements are helpful to government authorities for determining their tax liabilities. Obviously, audited accounts are submitted to income tax authorities. Okay, audited accounts are submitted to GST authorities and to different statutory authorities. So these are helpful to government authorities for determining proper tax liabilities. It is on the audited accounts after end of the year that government authorities rely. जब कोई कंपनी अपनी इनकम टैक्स की रिटर्न भरती है या जब कोई एक फर्म अपनी इनकम टैक्स की रिटर्न भरती है तो उसमें किस बेसिस पे वो अपनी इनकम दिखाती है, जो उसके ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में है, जो उसकी ऑडिटेड बैलेंस शीट, ऑडिटेड प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस में जो उसका प्रॉफिट आ रहा है या लॉस आ रहा है, उसके बेसिस पे ही वो अपनी इनकम टैक्स की रिटर्न भरता है. ओके, सो दिस इज यूजफुल टू द कंपनीज, to the government authorities for determining tax liability. Same is case with the GST. So every company has to, every organization or every taxpayer registered under GST, he has to file his annual return. Okay, and a certain other statement which is accompanied by the audited accounts, जिसमें है कि उसकी पूरे साल में कितनी टर्नओवर थी और जीएसटी पे और जीएसटी रिटर्न्स भरते हुए उसने कितनी टर्नओवर दिखाई, क्या डिफरेंस है उसमें, अगर कोई डिफरेंस है तो उसको उस पे टैक्स देना है. क्लियर? यस स्टूडेंट्स, इज दैट क्लियर? Yes, Devender, government authority or to tax authority. So obviously tax authorities are government authorities. Tax authorities are government authorities. Tax authorities are not, you can say, cannot be private authorities. Okay. And why it is written as government authorities and not tax authorities? Now say there may be certain other cases like a company is also required to pay provident fund, is also required to deposit provident fund. So here also in that department also the audit balance sheet goes. Okay, so it is not a sort of tax, but the authorities there can also see what is how much labor expenses have been booked, and they try to correlate with their records. Okay. Yes, Devender, under GST law, GST return is filed quarterly also, it is filed monthly also. Okay, depending upon certain kind of taxpayers. Certain kind of taxpayers have got option to file quarterly return, and after filing monthly and quarterly return, an annual return is also filed. After the closure of years, there is a time given of 5-6 months within, not 5-6 months, rather more than that. Annual return is also filed, and another form is also filed which requires you to attach your audited financial statements also. Okay. So all these things, Sanjana, you about directors, you would be learning under Companies Act. Then you would be studying your company law classes. Yes, it is proper to use the word government authorities, Devender. So audited financial statements can be relied upon by lenders, bankers for making their credit decisions. Now स्टूडेंट्स, ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स का सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट है लोन. जब भी कोई आदमी, कोई कंपनी, कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बैंक में जाता है, तो कोई बिजनेस ऑनर बैंक में जाता है लोन लेने के लिए, तो बैंक उसको बोलता है आप अपनी ऑडिटेड बैलेंस शीट दिखाइए, आप अपनी पिछले से 3 साल का ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स लेके आइए. उसके बाद वो देख के उसको एनालाइज करते हैं वेदर इट वुड बी प्रॉपर फॉर देम टू लेंड टू द कंपनी, टू लेंड टू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, टू लेंड टू द बिजनेस और नॉट. ओके, क्लियर स्टूडेंट्स? सो इस चीज को, दिस थिंग वी कॉल एज credit decision. This thing we call as credit decision by banker. You understand credit decision now? So और क्या बेनिफिट है? और बेनिफिट है an audit may also detect fraud or error or both. तो दिस यू नो, जब ऑडिटर अपने ऑडिट प्रोसीजर परफॉर्म करेगा, सो ड्यूरिंग दैट प्रोसेस ही मे डिस्कवर एरर्स और फ्रॉड्स. Bhavika, I have given you example. Bank can demand financial statement of 5 years also, but normally it is norm to ask for 3 years. So an audit reviews existence and operation of various controls operating in an entity. So it is useful at pointing deficiencies. So like I have told you that during the course of audit, during the audit process, the auditor also tests internal control operating in the company. कि जो कंपनी ने, जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने सिस्टम बनाया है फॉर इट्स वर्किंग, for its operation, whether it is operating properly or not, उसमें कुछ कमियां तो नहीं है, उसमें कुछ डेफिशिएंसीज तो नहीं है. तो ये भी एक टाइप से एडवांटेज है ऑडिट का, क्योंकि इससे कंपनी को अपने इंटरनल कंट्रोल्स में जो डेफिशिएंसीज हैं वो पता चलती हैं एंड कंपनी कैन इंप्रूव अपॉन दैट. And company can remove those deficiencies timely. Clear students? So you are clear about benefits. Now audit mandatory or voluntary? So what is the meaning of this? We have already touched this topic. Audit mandatory means compulsory, and voluntary means on its own will. कि अगर मेरे को अच्छा लगेगा तो मैं करवाऊंगा, मेरे को अच्छा नहीं लगेगा तो मैं नहीं कराऊंगा, मेरी मर्जी. वॉलेंट्री. तो क्या ऑडिट मैंडेटरी है या वॉलेंट्री है? सो स्टूडेंट्स, वी हैव लर्नड that it is not necessary that audit is always legally mandatory. It is not necessary. In some cases it is legally mandatory, like we have learned in case of companies in India, it is legally mandatory. There is no choice. अगर आप एक कंपनी है तो आपको ऑडिट करवाना ही पड़ेगा, चाहे आपकी टर्नओवर 20 करोड़ है, 20 लाख है या 200 करोड़ है, इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. आपको कंपनीज एक्ट में ऑडिट करवाना ही करवाना पड़ेगा एक ऑडिटर से, जो कि एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है। ओके। और अगर आप कंपनी नहीं है, if you are some other, you are constituted as something else, like if you are a proprietorship concern or you are a partnership concern, then it may not, it is voluntary for you to get your accounts audited, but under certain tax laws it would be mandatory to get your accounts audited. Like I have told you, as under income tax act, if the turnover of a person crosses certain threshold limit, okay, then he has to get his accounts audited, which we call as normally as tax audit under income tax act. So this audit is specifically under income tax act. Okay. Yes. Yes, Nancy, what is that limit? You are saying it is, you can understand, it is 1 crore in certain, subject to certain conditions. It is again subject to certain conditions. So for the time being, you can understand it is 1 crore. There is some relaxation also given when this limit goes up to rupees 10 crore, but it is a matter of reading under income tax law. Okay. So you would be reading when you will be studying about this under income tax act. Yes, Devender, even if the company, even the company, if it is a company, if its turnover is 5 lakh, it would be required to get its accounts audited. Yes, Madhav, all your queries are visible. When GST audit is required, Ajay, GST audit is, earlier it was required when GST was implemented, but now it has been done away with. It is no more required by chartered accountants. Yes. Okay. So, like, and I have told you, there may be some entities like schools which may be required to get accounts audited for the purpose of obtaining grant or assistance from the government. Okay. So कोई भी से स्टूडेंट्स एक ट्रस्ट है, जो कि सोशल एक्टिविटीज में इन्वॉल्व है. नाउ इट मे suppose there is no requirement to get its accounts audited. Suppose, assume that it is not required to get its accounts audited under any other law. Even then, the trustees may choose to get the accounts audited. Why? Because of the benefits of the audit. Because they want to know that that all the money has been spent as was mandated. Okay. Yes, Tushar, the limit which you are talking in income tax, this is fairly stable but subject to change in budget. If budget of the country, if the union budget makes certain changes in income tax act, then the limit would get changed. Yes, Tushar, is that clear? So who appoints an auditor? Students, अब आपके दिमाग में क्वेश्चन आ रहा होगा कि ऑडिट की तो बहुत बात हो गई, हमें पता चल गया कि ऑडिट का बेनिफिट भी क्या है. अब ऑडिटर को अपॉइंट कौन करता है? ऑडिटर को अपॉइंट कौन करता है? अब ऑडिटर, सो कौन अपॉइंट करेगा स्टूडेंट्स ऑडिटर को? कौन अपॉइंट करेगा स्टूडेंट्स ऑडिटर को? यस टेल मी, विदाउट विदाउट रीडिंग इन योर मॉड्यूल, अपने दिमाग से सोचिए। अपने दिमाग से सोचिए स्टूडेंट्स, कौन अपॉइंट करेगा ऑडिटर को? वही लोग, वही अपॉइंट करेगा जिसको ऑडिट की सर्विसेज चाहिए। वो सर्विसेज किसे चाहिए? ऑनर को। सो ऑडिटर इज अपॉइंटेड by the owners generally. Okay, so in case of company, who are the owners? कंपनी के केस में कौन ऑनर है? हु आर द ऑनर्स इन केस ऑफ ए कंपनी? yes guys, who are the owners in case of a company? Shareholders. So shareholders are owners in the case of a company. So in case of a company, at the AGM, auditor is appointed by the shareholders at the AGM, at the annual general meeting. हर एक कंपनी को साल में एक AGM करनी होती है, एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग, जो आप कंपनीज एक्ट में पढ़ोगे। ठीक है, तो ऑडिटर इज अपॉइंटेड एट दैट AGM एक्सेप्ट द फर्स्ट ऑडिटर। फर्स्ट ऑडिटर को जो है वो बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर अपॉइंट करता है, क्योंकि फर्स्ट ऑडिटर कंपनीज एक्ट में जो पीरियड है उसके अंदर अपॉइंट करना होता है, इसलिए वो बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर अपॉइंट करता है। लेकिन फिर उसको आगे AGM में शेयर होल्डर्स अपॉइंट करते हैं। सो ऑडिटर इज अपॉइंटेड बाय शेयर होल्डर्स at the AGM. So you have to understand that broadly auditor is appointed by owners. So in case of partnership firms, partners appoint करेंगे। In case of a trust, trustee appoint करेंगे। Okay, और कुछ कंपनीज एक्ट में स्पेशल प्रोविजंस हैं कि कुछ गवर्नमेंट कंपनीज में, इन सच कंपनीज वेयर गवर्नमेंट इज द शेयर होल्डर, जहां गवर्नमेंट का शेयर होल्डर है, जहां गवर्नमेंट शेयर होल्डर है, से इन केस ऑफ सर्टेन गवर्नमेंट ऑन इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कंपनीज और गवर्नमेंट ऑन ऑयल कंपनीज। सो जहां पे गवर्नमेंट का शेयर, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का या स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का शेयर इज मोर देन 51% or more, so these we call as government companies. So the auditor is appointed by C&AG, Comptroller and Auditor General of India. So at the beginning हमने CAG के बारे में थोड़ा सा इस चैप्टर के स्टार्टिंग में टच किया था, और C&AG के क्या फंक्शंस हैं, C&AG की क्या पावर्स हैं, C&AG कौन कौन से ऑडिट करता है, इस बारे में भी स्टूडेंट्स एक सेपरेट चैप्टर है आपके मॉड्यूल्स में, और वो आप बाद में पढ़ेंगे। ओके, सो आपको अभी इतना ही अंडरस्टैंड करना है कि इन केस ऑफ गवर्नमेंट कंपनीज, ऑडिटर इज अपॉइंटेड बाय CAG, कंट्रोलर एंड ऑडिटर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया। ओके, नाउ टू whom report is submitted by an auditor। अब नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आता है, ऑडिटर को स्टूडेंट्स आप लॉजिक आप इसका अपने माइंड में क्रिएट करिए, यू क्रिएट लॉजिक इन योर माइंड। नाउ हु अपॉइंट्स द ऑडिटर? ऑनर। ओके, व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ ऑडिट? टू एक्सप्रेस ओपिनियन। हाउ डज ऑडिटर एक्सप्रेस ओपिनियन? इन द फॉर्म ऑफ रिपोर्ट। नाउ टू whom द रिपोर्ट इज सबमिटेड बाय एन ऑडिटर? सो ऑडिटर रिपोर्ट किसको सबमिट करेगा अपनी? अगर आप स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे अपने दिमाग में लॉजिक बना के चलेंगे तो आपको कभी आप चीजों को भूलेंगे नहीं, यू विल नेवर फॉरगेट, यू डोंट नीड टू क्रैम। सो देन टू whom he would be submitting to the submitting his report? Yes, students. Yes, yes, students. To whom report is submitted by an auditor? Obviously, report would be submitted to the owners who have appointed. So, in case of a company, the report would be submitted to shareholders. It would be addressed to shareholders. And in case of a firm, it would be addressed to the partners, to the appointing authority. Yes, you are right, guys. Yes, Devender, you are asking in case of government organization who will. देवेंद्र, सबसे पहले तो आपको यह समझना है कि गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और गवर्नमेंट कंपनी में फर्क है। एक गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट और गवर्नमेंट कंपनी में फर्क है। गवर्नमेंट कंपनी में ऑडिटर सीएजी अपॉइंट करेगा, और जो गवर्नमेंट के डिपार्टमेंट इनबिल्ट है, जैसे कि जो कंपनी की फॉर्म में कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड नहीं है, जैसे कि डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ पोस्ट्स, उनके ऑडिट सीएजी करता है। वो गवर्नमेंट के डिपार्ट, यू हैव टू डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन डिपार्टमेंट एंड कंपनी। अगर एक कंपनी है जैसे इंडियन ऑयल कॉर्पोरेशन लिमिटेड, उसका ऑडिटर सीएजी अपॉइंट करेगा। ओके, अगर कोई गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट है जैसे कि उसमें कोई ऑडिटर अपॉइंट नहीं होता, उसके ऑडिट सीएजी करता है, बिकॉज इट इज ए गवर्नमेंट, इट इज कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड एज ए गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट, part of ministry, it is a part of ministry itself. Clear? Yes. Okay students, so आप ऐसे students, अनमोल, ये शेयर होल्डर एक शेयर होल्डर अपॉइंट नहीं करता। जब हम शेयर होल्डर्स की बात कर रहे हैं तो वी आर कॉलिंग देम एज ए क्लास। हम एजीएम की बात कर रहे हैं जहां पे सभी शेयर होल्डर्स आर इनवाइटेड फॉर द मीटिंग। थोड़ा सा लॉजिक लगाओ स्टूडेंट्स। ओके, सो आर यू रेडी फॉर ए केस स्टडी स्टूडेंट्स? आर यू रेडी फॉर डूइंग ए केस स्टडी जो आपके मॉड्यूल में दी गई है? आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू स्टूडेंट्स, आप इस केस स्टडी को खुद समझ के करें। आप आंसर मत देखें, नहीं तो उस चीज का कोई पर्पस नहीं है। आप खुद इसको करें एंड देन वी विल डिस्कस द आंसर कि व्हाई दिस आंसर इज राइट और व्हाई दिस आंसर इज रॉन्ग। आप अगर आंसर देख के कह देंगे कि मैंने ठीक किया, मैंने 5 आंसर किए, तो उससे कोई बेनिफिट नहीं होने वाला। इट इज गोइंग टू डिफीट योर पर्पस। क्लियर है स्टूडेंट्स? सो आर यू रेडी फॉर डूइंग ए केस स्टडी? आर यू रेडी फॉर डूइंग ए केस स्टडी? No, Devender, there is no semi-government department. There is no semi-government department. Either it is a government department or it is a government company. Yes. Yes, students, are you ready for the case study? Yes, Ramadevi, I was just saying that we are going to start a case study. Kindly try to answer the questions yourself by your own logic, by your own thinking, by your own understanding. What you have understood till now. Do not see the answers which are there in your module and say, look, I have done all the 5 questions right. It would do no benefit to you. अगर 5 में से if you happen to do even 2-3 questions rightly, it is okay, because it is just start. Okay, so read this case study. Students, I am, this is the case study. Try to read. So I would scroll the page again. Read this case study. Yes, Akshay, you are asking if audit is conducted for a year, then can he be the same auditor? Yes, he can be the same auditor. In case of companies, auditor is appointed for a period of 5 years. And in for other entities, he can change from year to year. And so all these things you would be reading in your company's act as you progress. Yes, Basav Raj, CAG, you would be reading about CAG in your separate chapter. Devender Singh, you are asking about DRDA. Yes, DRDA, it is a government authority. Yes, it is good if you read business news, Gunjan Kumar. Yes, so students, आप केस स्टडी पढ़ें. सो 4 स्टूडेंट्स आप जैसे 4 स्टूडेंट्स हैं, रोहित, गुरप्रीत, अली एंड गोरिटी. ठीक है, वो फ्रेंड्स हैं, स्कूल डेज से, मुंबई में रहते हैं. दे हैव क्लियर्ड सीए फाउंडेशन एग्जाम इन द सेम अटेम्प्ट and now plan to appear for CA intermediate exams like you are preparing, and all of them are news listeners and regularly keep track of business news even on social media. Very good, they keep track. So they are trying to understand new subject of auditing. Rohit, Gurpreet and Ali have also started attending live coaching classes. So wo coaching classes like you students are attending, they attend. Okay. Goretti has not been able to join live coaching classes yet as she was away on a holiday with her parents. However, she plans to catch up with her friends very soon. And Ali had also joined the classes, but he had skipped some lectures. So, पहले आप उसको ध्यान से पढ़ें. गोरिटी जो है स्टार्टिंग से क्लासेस स्टार्ट जैसे हुई, शी वाज नॉट एबल टू ज्वाइन. और अली ने क्लासेस जो है ज्वाइन की, लेकिन उसने कुछ क्लासेस उसकी छूट गई. सो दे हैड डिस्कशन regarding the nature, scope, benefits and other practical issues of audit. Gority was regular in keeping track of audited results of companies. Gority is very fond of reading newspaper. So वो देखती रहती है कि इस कंपनी के क्या रिजल्ट आए हैं. Okay. So her view was that audited financial statements of companies give 100% guarantee to different stakeholders. So she was thinking that financial statements of companies give 100% guarantee to different stakeholders. It is the main reason that so much reliance is placed on audit. She could not understand why wrongdoings in financial matters are discovered after years have gone by. So since she is reading newspapers, therefore she is thinking कि किसी कंपनी में 5 साल बाद फ्रॉड निकल आया, तो शी इज नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड कि कैसे निकल आया, जब उसको ऑडिट हो चुका है तो फ्रॉड कैसे निकल आया. शी इज थिंकिंग ऑन दोज लाइंस. तो अली ऑल्सो एग्रीड विद दिस व्यू एंड added that when financial statements are audited, each and every transaction is verified. लेकिन वो गोरिटी को कोई क्लैरिटी नहीं दे पाया. Gurpreet was of the opinion that audit was conducted on the basis of sample checking. He was also of the view that audited financial statements are not guaranteed. Rohit also jumped in the fray. He supported Gurpreet and added something of his own. Okay. Now, you have to answer these questions. Now, first question. What should be the answer of first question? Read the first question and what is the answer. Now, Devinder, you are asking about DRDA. DRDA is District Rural Development Agency, and it is responsible for disbursing certain funds in accordance with government guidelines. Funds which are received from government, it is responsible for implementing certain programs and funds of the government. Audit is conducted, Muhammad. Audit is conducted yearly. As far as audit of financial statement is concerned, it is conducted yearly. साल में एक ही बैलेंस शीट बनती है, क्लोजिंग पे उसी का ऑडिट होता है. Yes, what should be your answer? Question number 1, what should be the answer? So yes, Gurpreet was of the view that audited financial statements are not a guarantee against probable wrongdoings in financial statements of company. What kind of assurance does audit of financial statements provide? So as you have learned, कितनी बार हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं कि auditing provides only reasonable assurance. Auditing provides only reasonable assurance, meaning a high level of assurance. So yes, Devinder, you are saying you have worked, so you are not a student. You are not a young student. Although you are a student, you are not a young student. So you probably are trying to check my knowledge. Okay. Yes. It provides reasonable assurance, meaning a high level of assurance. Now, Masood Khalifa, how you are writing it is A? Yes, Masood Khalifa, how you are writing A? So students, A में भी लिखा है reasonable assurance. Okay. और सी में भी लिखा है रीजनेबल एश्योरेंस, लेकिन कैसा एश्योरेंस? इट इज नॉट ए मॉडरेट लेवल ऑफ एश्योरेंस, इट इज ए हाई लेवल ऑफ एश्योरेंस. सो दिस स्टेटमेंट इज रॉन्ग, दिस इज राइट. सो remember to see for small differences. Remember to see for small differences. Yes, students. Yes, Anne Mary, what you are trying to say? Yes, answer is C. Clear, Masood? So take care not to mark a wrong answer in a hurry. Students, there is sufficient time in the exam, but sometimes while marking we know what is the right answer in our minds, but while marking we are marking the wrong option due to hurry in our minds. Rohit added that auditor can force an employee of company to provide the required information and documents. Can he do so? Question number 2. क्या उसको वो Rohit added that auditor can force an employee of the company to provide the required information and documents. Can he do so? क्या रोहित ने बोला कि ऑडिटर फोर्स कर सकता है किसी इंप्लॉय को रिक्वायर्ड इंफॉर्मेशन देने के लिए? क्या वो कर सकता है? सेकंड, आंसर इज नो, ही कैन नॉट डू सो. सो आप देखिए स्टूडेंट, सी और डी दोनों में लिखा नो ही कैन नॉट डू सो. सो अगर आप जल्दबाजी करेंगे, इफ यू मेक हेस्ट, तो यू कैन pick the wrong answer. Okay, so आप इन दोनों को पढ़िए. नो ही कैन नॉट डू सो, ही कैन ओनली रिक्वेस्ट फॉर प्रोवाइडिंग हिम विद नेसेसरी इंफॉर्मेशन, बट इट कैन नॉट बी फोर्स्ड बाय हिम. एंड no, he cannot do so, he has no right of seeking information, and therefore question of forcing does not arise. So दोनों ऑप्शंस में स्टूडेंट डिफरेंस है. There is a difference in both the options. First option states that he cannot force, but he can only request. Second option states that he has no right of seeking the information. Now this is totally wrong. The auditor always seeks informations. He always requires informations from the employees of the organization, from the employees of the companies. Okay. So the option C is right and D is wrong. This is wrong. So this is also very important point, students. You have to learn that auditor has no right. The auditor has every right of seeking information or explanation from the employees of the company, from the officers of the company, from the management of the company, for the purpose of his audit, whatever he feels necessary. It is his right to seek the information, but he cannot force somebody to give him the information. If another person doesn't give, then it's okay. He would change his opinion. He would see what is the effect of that person not providing him the information on his opinion in his audit report. Okay. Yes, Priyanka, all the queries are visible. Yes, what you are asking? So students, थोड़ा सा आपको, you are getting clarity now? Are you getting clarity? Yes, students, are you getting clarity now? Yes, Rashmi, you have to mail the answers here in the mail. Okay. Now number 3. Ali had listened in one of the classes that audit covers all aspects of an entity and concluded that each and every transaction is verified by the auditor. Goretti also agreed, but she was of the view that besides this, that audit should be so organized to cover all areas of entity. Now, which of the following statements is appropriate in this regard? Now, हम देखते हैं क्या क्या हो रहा है. Ali had listened that audit covers all aspects and concluded that each and every transaction is verified. So, क्या auditor हर एक transaction को verify करता है? Does he verify every transaction? Is it possible for him? No, it is not possible for him. We had learned that audit procedures are based upon sampling. Okay. So, Gunjan Kumar, seeking का मतलब है पूछना. Seek, ask, to seek, ask. Okay. So, तो अली का व्यू तो करेक्ट नहीं है. गोरेटी का व्यू क्या है? गोरेटी also seemed to be in agreement with him, but she was of the view that it also meant that audit should be organized to cover all areas. So Gority is partly correct. Gority भी पूरी तरह ठीक नहीं है, क्योंकि सभी एरियाज का तो कवर होना चाहिए, लेकिन सैंपल हर एक ट्रांजैक्शन चेक करना ये उसका वो नहीं है. तो सो विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स इज एप्रोप्रिएट इन दिस रिगार्ड? Only view of Ali is correct, that is wrong. Only view of Gority is correct, that is also wrong. Views of both Ali and Gority are incorrect. So D is the option. So third is D is the option. D is the right option. Why? Because Gority's view is only partly correct. Her view is not totally correct, because she has also agreed with Ali in respect of wrong view. Okay. So Shivam, how you can write B? Now Gority is agreeing with the view of Ali, which is incorrect. She is also partly agreeing with the views of Ali. So therefore she is also wrong. So D is the answer. So most of you students, most of you guys, you have answered it correctly. Now all of them discussed about benefits of auditing. आप स्टूडेंट्स, आपको इसमें से ये बताना है ऑडिटिंग का कौन सा बेनिफिट नहीं है. और मनीष, वी चेक फाइनेंशियल ऑडिट कवर्स ऑल एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ द एंटिटी. इसका ये मतलब है जो भी एंटिटी करती है उसमें सबका ही फाइनेंशियल इंपैक्ट आता है. लेकिन ऑडिटर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के सारे एस्पेक्ट्स को वेरीफाई करता है. ओके. इसमें से स्टूडेंट्स यू हैव टू टेल विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट बेनिफिट ऑफ ऑडिटिंग, नॉट ए लाइकली बेनिफिट ऑफ ऑडिटिंग. Yes. Answer is A, students. It is not a benefit of audit. These can be benefits of audit. Auditing is connected to future events. Audited information can be relied upon users. This is auditing. We have learned that auditing is not connected to future events. Auditing is based upon historical financial information. Okay, so this statement is patently wrong, patently false. So answer is A. Most of you are writing A. Error or frauds can be discovered during the audit. Government authorities can make use of audited accounts for different purpose. Yes, they may use it for determining tax liabilities. They may use it for determining, like I had given you an example of provident fund authorities to verify provident fund issues. Okay. It can help bringing out deficiencies in maintenance of financial records. ये भी बिल्कुल ठीक है, क्योंकि because when an auditor conducts the audit, in the process he brings out certain misstatements, then he brings it to the knowledge of the management first. So he gives the opportunity to the management to correct those misstatements. Okay, so in the process he brings out deficiencies in maintenance of financial records. Clear, Neha? I have already explained D option. So all B, C, D are likely benefits of audit, but first statement is totally wrong. It cannot be benefit of audit because audit is not connected to future events. Okay. Now fifth question. Now read the fifth question, guys. Goretti told her friends that she had read a news report about how a company had misled its auditors by producing some fabricated documents. Now Goretti ने एक न्यूज पेपर में एक न्यूज पढ़ी है. शी हैड रेड ए न्यूज कि एक कंपनी ने ऑडिटर्स को मिसलीड किया और फेक डॉक्यूमेंट्स प्रोड्यूस किए और ऑडिटर मिसलीड हो गया. फेक ऑडिटर documents were produced and the auditor was misled. Now which of following statements is most appropriate in this regard? Now students answer देखिए क्या होगा वो. Students, apply your own logic, apply your own understanding of what you have learned till now. Yes. What would be the option? Yes, only 3-4 replies I have got. Vaibhav, Divya, Gunjan, Rito, Shivam. What about others? Yes. All of you are saying C. Yes. Well done, students. Well done. C is the right answer. Why it is C? Because auditor is not an expert to see whether some document is fake or not. There is a possibility that he may be misled. There is a possibility that he may be misled and therefore he could have relied upon the fake or non-genuine documents. Yes, Neha, fabricated means fake. Yes, you are right. Masood, how you are writing B? B is saying, although it was wrong on the part of auditor to rely, he cannot do anything in the matter. He has no duty in this regard. Say, although he may be misled, but he has a duty in this regard. He has to remain alert. He has to apply his professional skill. वो दिखेगा तो सही. अगर कोई प्राइमरली डॉक्यूमेंट देख के ही मेरे को लग रहा है कि उसमें बिल के ऊपर से डेट इज आई एम डूइंग ऑडिट ऑफ 22-23 एंड बिल के ऊपर डेट 24 है, तो मेरे को तो देख के ही लग रहा है कि ये फैब्रिकेटेड डॉक्यूमेंट है. ओके, सो ही हैज सम ड्यूटी, द ऑडिटर हैज सम ड्यूटी to apply his professional skill. Okay, it is not that he can't do anything, but he cannot provide a guarantee that all the documents on which he has relied, these can't be none of these could be fabricated. Okay, because he lacks expertise. He is not an forensic sort of investigator which would check each document for its authenticity कि वो genuine है या नहीं. Okay. Yes, Masood, have you understood? Yes, Priyanka, your answers must be sending your answers. Yes, Priyanka's. So, guys, your mails must be reaching me. There are many Priyankas out there. Many Priyankas in the student community. Yes. Yes, your answers must be visible. So I am not able to find out your mail, Priyanka. So students, now did you get some understanding? Whether now some concepts are clear to you? एक मेल भेज दो स्टूडेंट्स. Send some mails. Yes, Priyanka Pandey, your answers are visible. Yes, students, you have got some clarity of the concepts. This is just the third class, student. So do not worry if you still have some issues. No doubt, you again see this lecture, study from module, and then increase your understanding. Okay. So you are saying that it is clear. So at this stage, we will take a short break for 5 minutes, guys, and we will be back after 5 minutes. So a short break for 5 minutes. So do not go away and join after 5 minutes. Yes. Yes, welcome back, guys. So, students, many of you are writing that you are not able to find notes, key learning points. Say, students, we have uploaded it at the required place. So, if you are not able to find, please write to Board of Studies. It is visible to us. If you are not able to find, please write to BOS, try to find out, or before writing, just search, you would find. If you are not able to find, if there is some technical issue, do write to them. Whatever the technical issues are, you can write to BOS. So students, we have learned that auditing is an assurance engagement. Starting say, students, I have been telling you that auditing is an assurance engagement. Okay. So purpose of assurance engagement is to increase confidence of users, to increase degree of confidence of users in the financial statements. Okay. So now we will discuss elements of assurance engagement. कि किसी भी assurance engagement के क्या क्या elements होते हैं. What are the elements in assurance engagement? What are the elements in assurance engagement? Okay. So you have to remember, students, that there are 5 elements. In assurance engagement. These are also very important, and you have to remember the all the names, all the headings, and what is meant by these of all the 5 elements. So these are the 5 elements: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so there are five elements in assurance engagement. Now, what is the first element? First element is that there is a 3-party relationship. Now you would say, how come 3-party? There should be 2-party relationship, auditor and client. No, in assurance engagement, there is a 3-party relationship. One is the client, that we call as responsible party. And another is practitioner, who is responsible for performing that engagement. And third is intended users, the persons who are going to rely. So because audit report, the auditor's opinion would ultimately be used by the intended users. So they are also a part of this relationship. So we say that assurance engagement is a 3-party relationship. Okay. So we say that assurance engagement is a 3-party relationship. Clear? So it consists of the responsible party, which is the person who wants to get its accounts audited, that we call as responsible party, a practitioner, and the intended users. Okay. And second point is appropriate subject matter. Now what is a subject matter? Subject matter means that that what is on what information the opinion is to be expressed, on what information the assurance is to be given. Like in case of audit of financial statements, financial information is the subject matter. Okay, financial information which is they are reflected in the financial statements, it is the appropriate subject matter. Okay, and third is suitable criteria. Suitable criteria means that the auditor is to express his opinion, he has to provide assurance, practitioner has to provide assurance, then he would be providing assurance against some benchmarks, against some standards. Like in case of auditing, it is standards on auditing. So he would be testing those that financial information in context of those standards, in context of those benchmarks, or say in context of some law. Okay, say in case of company audit, relevant regulations or relevant provisions of Companies Act. Okay, and fourth is sufficient appropriate evidence. Okay, fourth is sufficient appropriate evidence. Sufficient means the evidence which should be, first of all, it should be sufficient. Sufficient means sufficient relates to quantity. So as you understand, कि कितना एविडेंस मेरे को लेना है, कितनी चेकिंग, कितना सैंपल मेरा होना चाहिए, कितना एविडेंस लेना है उसकी, सॉरी नॉट क्वालिटी स्टूडेंट्स, क्वांटिटी. Sufficient relates to quantity. And what is appropriate? Appropriate relates to quality of evidence. कि whether the evidence to be obtained would be proper or not in those circumstances. Like say मैं डेटर्स के बारे में, ट्रेड रिसीवेबल्स के बारे में एविडेंस ले रहा हूं, सो अगर मैं एक्सटर्नली कंफर्म करवा लेता हूं, इफ आई सेंड एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट, सो दैट वुड बी एप्रोप्रिएट ऑडिट एविडेंस. क्वालिटेटिव, I would be getting much more assurance because it is coming from outside the company, from outside the organization. So, but you have also to understand that it doesn't mean that evidence which is generating from the company, it is generating within the company is of no use. It is also very important, because in every case the auditor cannot rely on external evidence. So what we are talking about degree, what we are talking about quality in different circumstances. So in some circumstances only internal evidence is available. So in those circumstances that would be appropriate audit evidence. So auditor would have to see what appropriate internal evidence would be there. Okay. Number 5th is written assurance report. Final is, as we know, the outcome of audit is report. So in case of assurance engagement, it is written assurance report. So all the 5 elements are there. So thoda sa students, you have understood a little bit what are the elements of assurance engagement. Now I'll see what is there in your module. Yes. Meaning of assurance engagement. Meaning of assurance engagement. Now, assurance engagement means an engagement where a practitioner expresses conclusion designed to enhance the degree of confidence of intended users other than the responsible party about the outcome of evaluation or measurement of subject matter against a criteria. So all these things, all the elements are written in this line. So what are the elements of? No, Ramchandra, written assurance report is not different from audit report. So you have to understand that here we are talking about assurance engagements generally, and audit is one such type of assurance. We would also know about other type of assurance engagements other than audit. For the time being, you can understand that we are talking about assurance engagement broadly, about assurance engagement as a whole. Okay, and audit is one type of assurance engagement. There are other type of assurance engagements also besides auditing, other than auditing. Okay. No, Tejas, assurance engagement doesn't mean content of the letter. Some parts of it are included in it, but it is not content of the letter. Try to understand first. Try to understand first what we are, what I am making you to understand. Okay. So elements of assurance engagement, there are, आप स्टूडेंट्स इतना समझिए कि एश्योरेंस एंगेजमेंट प्रोवाइड्स कंफर्ट टू द यूजर्स, दे प्रोवाइड एश्योरेंस टू यूजर्स. फर्स्ट स्टेज पे यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. नाउ देयर आर 5 elements from which an assurance engagement is made. Now what are those 5 elements? 5 elements are three-party relationship. There is a three-party relationship between, in an insurance engagement, among responsible party, among the practitioner, and among the intended user. There is a responsible party, the client, who wants to get assurance obtained. There is a practitioner who would be conducting his procedures for assurance, and there would be intended users. So there is three-party relationship. Okay. Responsible party means client. Why? Simple. Try to understand. Yeah, guys, apply logic. Thoda sa put pressure, little bit pressure on your mind. An appropriate, yes, Meenakshi, audit is a type of assurance engagement. Yes, now you are right. Meenakshi Tripathi, now you are very right. Audit is a type of assurance engagement. Now what we are trying to read is assurance engagement generally. Audit is a type of assurance engagement. Clear? Yes. Now number 2, appropriate subject matter. Now what is appropriate subject matter? Appropriate subject matter is the information to be examined by the practitioner. The information on which he is to express his opinion, the information on which he is to give assurance. Like in case of auditing, this information is financial information contained in financial statements. Okay. No, Sarvanshu, you are understanding it wrong. In assurance engagement, there is a place for the auditor. Since we are reading assurance engagement generally, in case of audit as assurance engagement, we call him auditor. And in case of general assurance engagement, we are calling him by the name of practitioner. Yes, Tejas, now you are right. Okay. So second is appropriate subject matter. So in case of general assurance engagements, appropriate subject matter means the information on which assurance is to be given. And for example, in case of auditing, it means financial information reflected in financial statements. Clear? Now Third, suitable criteria. What are the suitable criteria? Suitable criteria refer to the benchmarks used to evaluate the subject matter. Now, whatever subject matter is there, it is evaluated by the practitioner. Practitioner means, Tushar, who is engaged to give assurance. Like in case of audit, he is auditor. So suitable criteria means benchmark, some standards against which the information will be assessed, against which the information will be evaluated. Like in case of audit, there are standards on auditing. There can be laws against which, laws and rules against which the subject matter may have to be evaluated. Like Companies Act 2013 may contain certain rules, certain rules which are to be followed by a company while preparing financial statements. Like under Schedule 3 of the Companies Act, there is mandatory disclosure in respect of certain information. So the practitioner, or in case of auditor, would assess the financial information against these criteria. So these are known as suitable criteria. Okay. Yes, Shivam, essays are suitable criteria. Benchmarks are standards. Already I am telling you why you are asking same question again, guys. Yes, Kadambari, you would get the answer as we move. It is there in the later part of the chapter. You would get the answer as we move. Benchmarks are standards. Benchmark means standard. जैसे कंपनी, जैसे गवर्नमेंट ने कोई स्टैंडर्ड बना दिया कि आपको ये फॉलो करना है, वो क्या है? एक बेंचमार्क. लाइक वी हैव गॉट ISO स्टैंडर्ड्स which products have to follow to obtain that registration. Okay, so these are benchmarks. Similarly, we have standards on auditing. These are benchmarks against which, standard fix kar diya, against which the information has to be evaluated. Yes, Rahul, I would answer you after completing this topic. And sufficient appropriate evidence. Sufficient appropriate evidence. So another fourth element is sufficient appropriate evidence. Sufficient relates to quantity of evidence and appropriate relates to quality. So I have explained to you already. You would be learning about this concept in greater detail in chapter 4 on audit evidence, SA 500, which relates to audit evidence. So you would be learning finer points of what is sufficient appropriate audit evidence there. For the time being, you can understand that sufficient relates to quantity, कितना evidence होना चाहिए, and appropriateness relates to quality. Okay. And fifth is written assurance report. Fifth is written assurance report in appropriate form, that the practitioner has to give a written assurance report. He has to give a written assurance report in appropriate form, containing a conclusion that conveys the assurance about subject matter. So ultimately, as we have learned, that auditor also gives audit report. It is the outcome of the audit process. Similarly, broadly, in assurance engagement, it is called as assurance report. So audit report is also a form of assurance report. It is a form of assurance report because it gives assurance. So clear, guys? So repeat with me and learn with me here all the 5 elements of assurance engagement right now. I want you to remember all these 5 elements right now, so that when you study the chapter from your module, it becomes a cakewalk for you. Okay, so yes, Reena, all queries are visible. सो कौन कौन से 5 स्टूडेंट्स एलिमेंट्स हैं एश्योरेंस एंगेजमेंट के? नंबर 1 इज 3 पार्टी रिलेशनशिप. कौन कौन सी 3 पार्टीज हैं? नाउ ट्राई टू लर्न विद मी. विच आर द 3 पार्टीज? रिस्पॉन्सिबल पार्टी, प्रैक्टिशनर एंड इंटेंडेड यूजर्स. रिस्पॉन्सिबल पार्टी, प्रैक्टिशनर and intended users. And second is appropriate subject matter. Appropriate subject matter means the information on which assurance is to be given. Like in case of audit, assurance is to be given on financial information. So in case of audit, financial information becomes the subject matter. And suitable criteria means criteria against which benchmarks, standards, rules against which the subject matter is to be evaluated, against which subject matter is to be assessed by the practitioner. Okay. Number 4th is sufficient appropriate evidence. So remember this term, guys. This is key term. ये आपको पेपर में कई जगह लिखना पड़ेगा. Sufficient appropriate evidence. So do not forget about this term. Key term. Sufficient appropriate evidence. Okay. And written assurance report in appropriate form. There would be assurance report written. It would be written and in appropriate form. Now what does appropriate form means? The form which is prescribed by standards on auditing. Okay. So Tushar, you get the answer. So how the report is to be presented, what should be the form of it, what should be the contents of it. This is also prescribed in standards on auditing. Tushar, there is a separate standard relating to it is SA 700, which deals with the contents of audit report. तो अभी तो स्टूडेंट्स, अभी तो शुरुआत हुई है. इट इज ए बिगिनिंग. नाउ द पिक्चर रिमेन्स. Isn't it? So students, now you must be realizing how deep, how layered this subject is. It is not कि आप सोच रहे हैं कि हमने 3/4 ऑफ फर्स्ट चैप्टर कर लिया तो हम ऑडिटर समझ गए. यार बहुत आसान सब्जेक्ट है, समझ गए. सबसे ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स ऑडिटिंग में फेल होते हैं. दे फेल इन ऑडिटिंग एज फार एज वी नो. As far as students tell us, they fail in auditing. Because why? Because first of all, they have a general dislike. Students have a general dislike for reading, and you guys are only interested in solving figure work. So I'm not saying that solving numericals is bad. It is also as important as part of CA curriculum as auditing is. But the point is that students ignore auditing. They would say we will study later on. पहले हम accounts कर लेते हैं, then we will study. That time never comes. And when the time goes, you will feel that syllabus is so huge when you will try to read from your module, that you would find time to be very short, and you have not only to understand, but you have to remember and you have to learn to apply to be able to successful in your exams. Okay, so these are the practical mistakes made by you students. So guys, again I am repeating, guys, there are 5 elements of assurance engagement. So what are those 5 elements? These 5 elements are 3-party relationship containing practitioner, responsible party and intended users. Second is appropriate subject matter. Third is suitable criteria. Fourth is sufficient appropriate evidence. And fifth is written assurance report in appropriate form. So students, you have to learn the headings of all these and what do we mean by all this. You have to not only to understand, but you have to learn this. Students, and this topic assurance engagement has been added freshly to your to this chapter, to module. In old syllabus it was not there. So there is a quite a possibility that you would be asked question from this topic in your exams. Okay. अगेन भाविका कुमारी, जो हम पढ़ रहे हैं वो एश्योरेंस एंगेजमेंट ही तो है. जो मैंने आपको एलिमेंट्स बताए एश्योरेंस एंगेजमेंट के, वो मिला के एश्योरेंस एंगेजमेंट ही बनती है. एश्योरेंस एंगेजमेंट आप समझिए ऐसी एंगेजमेंट है जो कि यूजर्स को एश्योरेंस प्रोवाइड करती है, कंफर्ट प्रोवाइड करती है, उनका फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ाती है. वो एश्योरेंस एंगेजमेंट है. Yes, clear guys? Yes students, is that clear? Sakshi, Jani, benchmarks are standards. I have given you examples of ISO 9000. जैसे किसी कंपनी का प्रोडक्ट का कोई स्टैंडर्ड है, उसको वो फॉलो करना है ताकि उसका प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में बिके, स्टैंडर्डाइज हो, औरों के साथ कंपीट कर सके. ऐसे ऑडिटिंग में स्टैंडर्ड हैं ताकि सब ऑडिटर्स की रिपोर्ट में यूनिफॉर्मिटी हो, वो कंपेरेबल हो. दीज आर कंपेरेबल. ओके. बेंचमार्क स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं, या नॉट ओनली स्टैंडर्ड्स, रूल्स भी हैं, लॉज भी हैं, प्रोविजंस इन लॉ. ओके. Yes, Harsh Singh, any newspaper you can read, any business newspaper you can read. Clear students? Now are you ready for some MCQs guys? Yes, are you ready for some MCQs? Are you ready for some MCQs? Yes, are you ready for some MCQs? Is Rita, you are asking that how it is possible that auditor is not aware of related party disclosures, although it is mandatory for the company to give related party disclosure. But the point is, the company may not give such disclosure, and the auditor may not have means to check that the transactions which are being made are with related parties. That information might not be available with the auditor, or it might not be available publicly. So it gives rise to inherent limitations of audit, and it can make the process a riskier one. Okay. Yeah, responsible parties are called so because they are responsible. Simple as it is. Yes, ready for MCQs. So we are with a lot of very simple MCQs. So क्योंकि students first lot है, so we are starting with very simple MCQs. 5 MCQs are there. These are very simple MCQs. So just to boost you up, and in the exams, the level would be a mix. It is not that all MCQs coming would be tough, but it will be a mix of simple, moderate, and tough. Okay. So yes, yes, students. First MCQ: which of the following statements is correct? Read the options and give the answer. Which of the following statements is correct? रीड स्टूडेंट्स, एमसीक्यूज में सबसे पहले आप चारों ऑप्शंस पढ़िए, और उनमें से जो आपको जितनी आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है उसमें से एलिमिनेट करने की कोशिश करिए. अगर आपको देखते ही पता है कौन सा आंसर है, देन इट इज ओके, लेकिन चारों पढ़िए जरूर. टू रीड ऑल द 4 ऑप्शंस. yes, so most of the students have given answer D, except few students, Divya Kumari and Madhav Tiwari. Sudarshana, Miss Sudarshana, you are also saying A. So how those who are saying A or B, how you are saying, guys? The correct answer is D. What is written in A? This is the correct answer. What is written in A? Audit of financial statements is a reasonable assurance engagement. यहां तक तो ठीक है. डीलिंग विद प्रोस्पेक्टिव फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन. प्रोस्पेक्टिव क्या होता है स्टूडेंट्स? व्हाट इज प्रोस्पेक्टिव? प्रोस्पेक्टिव मींस फ्यूचर, कमिंग इन फ्यूचर. So whether auditing deals with prospective financial information? No, it deals with historical financial information. That is why option D is correct. Option D says the audit of financial statements is a reasonable assurance engagement dealing with historical financial information. So how Sudarshana, you are writing A, and how Dolly, you are also writing A. From the first day, I've been telling you that auditing deals with historical financial information. So auditing is a reasonable assurance engagement dealing with historical financial information. So that is why I am telling you to read the statement. It is not a limited assurance engagement. So these both are anyway These both are anyway incorrect. Okay. Now number 2. Reasonable assurance is a what? Reasonable assurance is a which level of assurance? Yes, number 2. Reasonable assurance is a, yes, I am getting all the answers. Reasonable assurance, yes. Simple, very simple. Come on, guys. What is the answer of number 2? Reasonable assurance is a, yes, answer is C. It is a high level of assurance. It is a high level of assurance. It is a high level of assurance. I have been telling you that reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance. So answer is C. And how, Neha, how you are writing D? Undeterminable level. कहा मैंने आपको समझाया है? कभी ये वर्ड यूज किए मैंने undeterminable level? How you are writing? Answer is option C. Anmol, you are also wrong. I have been telling you that is why ये key चीजें हैं students. These are the key things which you cannot forget. आपको हमेशा दिमाग में रखना है कि रीजनेबल एश्योरेंस हाई लेवल ऑफ एश्योरेंस है. Yes, number 3. Audit of financial statements of a company in India is what? Yes, Mamta, all messages are visible. Audit of financial statements of a company in India is what? तो ये मिस्टेक्स अनमोल, ये मिस्टेक्स एग्जाम्स में भी होंगी. These mistakes you will make in exams also. तो अभी से इनको सुधार लो आप. Try to rectify. Yes, this was a fairly simple question. All have answered correctly except Anjana. Anjana VP, how you are writing C? Standards on auditing ये नहीं बताते हैं. These do not tell whether audit is to be conducted or not. These deal with responsibilities of auditor. So audit of financial statements of a company in India is mandatory under Companies Act. I have been telling you that companies in India are to get their accounts audited, whatever be their turnover. They are required to get their accounts audited mandatorily, compulsorily. But it is not prescribed under standards on auditing. It is there in Companies Act. By virtue of Companies Act 2013, they are the position is so. Standards on auditing do not prescribe कि किसको ऑडिट कराना है या किसको नहीं कराना. These deal with the responsibilities of auditor while performing audit. Simple. एक चीज थोड़ा सा keep it in your mind. Okay. And fourth, which of the following factors is not responsible for inherent limitations of audit? Which of the following factors is not responsible for inherent limitations of an audit? So number 1 is subjective decisions of management. So I will scroll down. Is not responsible. 3 factors out of given 4 are responsible. 1 is not responsible. Subjective decisions, nature of audit procedures, investigative nature of auditing, probable lack of knowledge about related parties. Yes. I am again showing you the question. Which of the following state factors is not responsible? Which of the following factors is not responsible? Which of the following factors is not responsible for inherent limitations of audit of finance? Yes. Subjective decisions of management, nature of audit procedures, investigative nature, probable lack of knowledge. Yes, guys. Fourth. स्टूडेंट्स ये थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन था और आप इसी में यू वर बाउल्ड आउट. स्लाइटली थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी था, आप इसी में बाउल आउट हो गए स्टूडेंट्स. आंसर इज सी, इन्वेस्टिगेटिव नेचर ऑफ ऑडिटिंग. आंसर इज सी, इन्वेस्टिगेटिव नेचर ऑफ ऑडिटिंग. ऑडिटिंग तो स्टूडेंट्स इट इज नॉट इन्वेस्टिगेशन, इट इज नॉट ए इन्वेस्टिगेट. ऑडिटिंग की इन्वेस्टिगेटिव नेचर नहीं है, इट इज नॉट इन्वेस्टिगेशन. So subjective decisions of management leads to limitation of audit. Nature of audit procedures, because auditor may be doing sample checking, it leads to limitation. Probable lack of knowledge, auditor might not come to know about all related parties, so it might lead to inherent limitation. लेकिन if the audit was equivalent to investigation, if the auditor were equivalent to an investigator, then no limitations would have arisen. So this answer is C. Sanjana Ben Ch-1, yes, you have answered correctly. Okay guys, nature of audit procedure is one of the reasons for limitations of audit. So try to remember, go to your module and try to remember, it is one of the main points. Yes, Madhav, if you have answered rightly, very good. Shruti has also answered rightly. Rita, Shruti, Manohar, Akshay, Divya Kumari, all have answered rightly. So the question was again, students, question was which of the following is not reason for inherent limitation of audit. Now you know that management makes subjective decision while preparing financial statements. So there can be a risk that it uses incorrect judgments. Therefore, it is one of the reasons giving rise to inherent limitation of audit. Nature of procedures, audit procedures, you already know that it can give rise because auditor doesn't perform 100% checking. Lack of related party transactions knowledge. The auditor may do not know about related party transactions and the management does not disclose. It can give rise to inherent limitations. But investigative nature of auditing, had auditing been investigative totally, it wouldn't have led to any limitation. Okay, so it is not a limitation. Understood, Ramachandra? Who appoints auditor of a company at AGM? Yes, Niharika, your answers are visible. All mails we are getting, Rahul. Who appoints auditor? These all questions are uploaded in the relevant section. Students, you can see there. Who appoints auditor of a company at its AGM? Yes. Who appoints auditor of a company at its AGM? Yes, this everybody is right. Yes, Singh Kulwant. All your answers are visible. Yes, Sindhu. As how you are writing C? As I have told you that auditor is appointed at its AGM by shareholders, not by one person, by resolution of shareholders, not by one person managing director. No, so the answer is option A. Option A is correct. Now 99, more than 99% of you are right. Answer is A. Okay, guys. So, students, I think that now you have got a good understanding of this chapter, and the remaining part is there of this chapter that would be covered in the last session of this chapter. That would be held on Wednesday, because Monday is a public holiday. So there is not going to be any class on Monday. So in the meantime, students, you can read the whole chapter, or up till the point till we have discussed, and the remaining part we will be covering on Wednesday. Okay, that is on 4th of October. Okay, so thank you guys, thank you so much, and I think it is you must have gained better insight, and if you have certain doubts, you can write to BOS, or you can ask queries from me in next session regarding this chapter. And Sudarshan, you are saying mandatory for OPC to audit. Yes, it is mandatory for OPC. OPC is also a company. One person company means it is a company. When one entity is a company, so it has to get its accounts audited. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for giving me a patient listening. Thank you.